Hello, I'm Regina McCann-Hess, president of Forge Wealth Management, and today I have a new friend with me. And Mary Sheila, can you tell us who you are, what you do, and what you love about what you do?
Hello, thank you for having me, Regina. My name's Mary Sheila McDonald. Actually, if we really said my name, it's Mary Sheila Elizabeth McGarvey McDonald, but that's a mouthful. So I go by Mary Sheila McDonald.
That's
And
awesome.
currently I serve as the Scarpa Professor of Law and Entrepreneurship at Villanova University's Charles Widger School of Law. I also was recently named the director of the John F. Scarpa Center for Law and Entrepreneurship. What you might have gathered from that is that I am an attorney by training and by my licensure, but I also spent a good part of my career in higher education and business schools. And prior to me joining Charles Widger School of Law at Villanova, I was the dean of LaSalle University School of Business. So basically, that's a very long and fancy way of saying I'm a law professor now, but I'm also running a center and doing some other things that maybe we'll talk about that are really fun about the intersection of law and business and trying to get our law students who are very smart people, and we are often very risk averse, which is kind of a good thing. It gets me out of the bed every morning because I want to pay my bills and drive my car. But we're trying to get our law students to think a little differently, have an entrepreneurial mindset, and to understand how it is to work with entrepreneurs and to be change agents in their own careers, but also within a law firm, also being really good strategic partners with entrepreneurs. So it's an exciting new position that I filled, and I'm having a ball. So at the ripe old age of 60, I feel extremely blessed. So thank you for having me on.
Oh my gosh, so impressive. I don't even know where to start. I had so many questions pop up as you're talking. I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. But I love the combination of law and entrepreneur because one, normally you wouldn't think about that, but then at the same token, I'm like, well, how many lawyers do I know that have their own law firm? So yeah, they are entrepreneurs, but you just don't realize that they're actually learning some of that at school. I think that's fascinating.
Well, it's a kind of a new way of looking at it. Not many law schools are focusing on it. It is an emerging field,
Okay.
entrepreneurship law. We're starting an entrepreneurship law society here at the law school, which is a fancy way of saying a student club for the students. But entrepreneurship and the law are all around us.
Yeah.
And entrepreneurs, you know about money and economy, and entrepreneurs are change agents and extremely important to our economy. They create value, they create jobs. They're not always inventors, but they see combinations, new combinations of things, and are always looking ahead. And if we also want to train attorneys to work with these change agents, it's interesting. I often have guest speakers who are entrepreneurs, and I love them coming into my class, and I encourage them to tell my students what they can't stand about their lawyers. And in a good way, what do they like best about what
Constructive criticism.
Locks has found his or her favorite lawyer to be a strategic partner with. It's usually the lawyer who has done their due diligence, tries to understand that business person's business, and then also cuts to the chase and doesn't send long memos, and tries to understand bringing creative legal solutions. So it's a very exciting area. I'm delighted to be a part of it. And we work across Villanova University. I've been working closely with our friends in the engineering school. And I have developed some externship opportunities where my law students are working alongside attorneys who are entrepreneurs, attorneys who work with entrepreneurs. So this is not a commercial for Villanova Law, but maybe you didn't know that's what I'm sticking in there.
There you go. That's quite all right. I love it. I have a lot of friends and a lot of friends' kids at Villanova in different variations of either undergrad or grad school. So I'm all about promoting it. A lot of neighbors, a lot of people. Obviously, it's a big school in our area. Very good school. Their campus is amazing. Like if you like if you don't drive by there every so often, you when you drive by, you're like,
You'll miss the new building, right? You'll miss the new building. Yeah.
I mean, but that's actually probably most college campuses across the country, but it's right, they're right there on Lancaster Ave. So it's like in your face, here you go. Look at this beautiful new building. I'm like, wow, I want to be a kid and come back to this school. College kids got it made. No,
Well, I
that,
think you asked me, I mean, I don't want to jump ahead, but you asked me, what do I do and what do I like most about what I do? And it's, you said the word, we don't call them kids, we call them young men or women, students. The biggest adrenaline rush for me is interacting with the students,
yeah.
whether it was, I was with undergraduate students who are freshmen to seniors to MBA students, and now I'm with first year, second year, third year law students. It is a joy. I believe in education. I was gifted with a great education. My parents believed in it. I tried to assist my children with a good education. And I believe education, whatever field it's in, whether it's in health sciences or business or engineering or law, or so many things, communication, it empowers us to reach our potential. It's a power for good. It's a power for lifting up individual souls and a whole community. So it is an absolute just joy to be with the law students, and they are very smart. Sometimes they're smarter than me, but you know, I'm like a companion on the journey of learning with them. So that's the best part of my job. And I get to stay in touch with people. The neatest thing is I've been doing this so long that, you know, former students of mine stay in touch with me, the beauty of LinkedIn, for example, and they'll come back and they'll hire students. They will be speakers in my class. It's just a great joy, or we're just social friends. I'm like the adopted grandmother, auntie to some of their children. So of course, people are always the most, I think, great part of any job or career. And I do have some great colleagues that I work with, law professors and the alumni, but the students are my favorite part.
that is great. And I love that you use the word empower. Education is empowerment, because that's exactly what's going through my mind. And, you know, people get so much out of that education, and it's up to them what they do with it on the other side of it.
That's right. And also one of the joys of what I do, even informally, if I'm counseling students, they pop by, you can only see part of my office, but it's all glass over here. And I'm glad that everyone's back in class right now as we record this, because somebody might just open the door or knock on my window, which I want them to do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But there are also a lot of young people, and I feel like I know this, having taught for many years, being the mother of 4 now young adults ages 25 to 34, I feel that a lot of young people get nervous no matter what age, high school or college or even in graduate school. I don't know exactly what I want to do, and it's got to be this path or that path. And I love to open up people's minds to many paths. I mean, I'm even seeing this in the law school. I'm saying, look, you don't all have to go work for big law. You don't all have to, you know, clerk for a judge. There are many ways that you can use your legal education to, you know, earn a good living and help society. So that is also a great gift that maybe I have of helping. It's easier when it's not you, you know, you're looking at yourself, but also, you know, my grandmother used to tell my mom, you can't put old heads on young shoulders. So I've got an old head now on this 60-year-old shoulder. So I can say to a young person, wait, did you know this existed or that existed, or you can combine this? And they don't always know that. So it's kind of opening doors and opening ideas, and also telling them it's all right if you did this externship or you took this course and you're like, I thought I was going to like it, but I hated it. Still okay.
Yeah.
This lady wanted to be a nurse. My mom was a Villanova nursing grad, and she said, you need to candy stripe. Back in the olden days when we had candy stripe, it was in the 70s. I hated every minute of that summer. The smells of the hospital, the naked old people's bottoms that I saw, pardon me. Not that I disrespected any of it.
No, it just wasn't your thing.
But it was so good that I saw, this is something I don't want to do. It was a very worthwhile summer.
Yeah. And you know what? Those lessons are very valuable.
They are.
Better to find out then than going all the way through college and then being like, oh, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. That's, I guess that's why some, you know, internships for the college students are so much better. I have a hard time because I still see, I have 2 boys who are in college, and I still see them as kids, even though they're not. And so I
Uh,
have to, I have to change my train of thought on that.
Experiential learning has become very important. I never had an internship when I was in college or in law school.
Okay.
It is the name of the game. And as you know, and I know, a lot of the high schools now, whether they're public or private, senior year, are doing these capstone courses, they're doing shadowing. I think it's great
It
to
is
expose
good.
them. And
It
I'm
is.
not saying that waitressing or lifeguarding or working at Starbucks, they're all great jobs too. And I tell young people, it's fine to put that on your resume because it shows that you're a hard worker, you learn people skills, you're dependable. But then after a few summers, we're going to say, let's try to expose you to some of the people in the field that you think you may want to enter.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's where we're gonna get the rubber meets road, and it's also because I tell the college students that I know, I'm like, these are actually job interviews too. I mean, if you like them and they like you, it could be a job interview when or at the end of the day, you could get a job offer. So it's kind of
I'm not, that's another like kind of side gig that I have is networking, teaching my students about networking. Actually had a young man who is quite introverted in my law class, and we do a lot of networking here in the law school, and we want to expose them to all sorts of people in various careers, alumni that have different career paths, but that's hard for some more introverted people.
yeah.
And it does probably sound like an oxymoron because back in the day when I went to Temple Law School, I don't think there were many introverts among us. We like to talk. Res ipsa loquitur, the thing I speak for myself. But networking is extremely important, and you can never get a chance to make another good first impression. So you're right. You're right. Life is not a dress rehearsal. Some rock
No,
and roll band says.
not at all, not at all. And speaking about life, and I know you have had a brilliant career. Um, I'm curious about some of the challenges that you have faced as a professional woman.
Right. Well, I don't know if I had a brilliant career. Sometimes, and this is again, I'm talking to myself, but I'm also talking to young people. I think you can plan and you should plan. You know, what degrees or certifications will help me achieve a certain goal. That's all good. And I'm glad that I did that. I never started out thinking I would end up being a dean of a business school, let alone entrepreneurship and law professor at Villanova Law. But you take things one step at a time. I knew I wanted to use my law degree, and when I passed the bar, I knew that I wanted a family. Actually, I had my oldest daughter, Michaela, my last year of law school. She was born in March. She was due during spring break. Of course, she was late, so I had to miss some classes. But she arrived, and I took the bar exam that summer, and I had a mom and two wonderful grandmothers who watched her that whole summer while I took the bar exam. But why I bring that up is that I wanted flexibility, a way to have a career and fulfill myself and hopefully use the gifts God gave me professionally, but also to try to be there for my children. So fast forward, I ended up having 4 children, and I was able to use my legal background. And even though I did work for a brief time for a law firm, I decided to go into higher ed because it was more family friendly.
Okay.
And this is speaking as a woman back in the 80s and 90s. Things are different today. There's, you have to have a supportive spouse, and I did. But I think one of the reasons I did this was that I could have some flexibility. So I started, dipping my toes in teaching. I taught at St. Joe's for a few years, St. Joseph's University. Eventually got a half-time position at Philadelphia University, now called Jefferson University. And I originally was the assistant dean for undergraduate programs. I taught business law. And here's the thing I do want to say, be open to suggestions. So for example, when I went for the interview with the dean at the time, who still is a mentor of mine, I really just wanted to teach. I wanted to teach business law. And he was like, oh, I'll let you teach, Mary Sheila, but I also know attorneys are really good at keeping records and being organized and setting up different protocols, because we're really rules oriented and procedure. And I need an assistant dean because for advising and all that. So I was like, but I was like, I'll take that job anyway. It's kind of like, sure, I'll do that for you, but this is what I want to do. And I became pretty good at that. I kind of, cleaned up a few things. Eventually, I ran their MBA and MS tax program, so I got into graduate education. Fast forward, networking, became active in a local association for Mid-Atlantic Colleges of Business, also internationally, and got tapped to at least apply to be the associate dean at LaSalle's Business School. Did that, then became the interim dean, and then got hired to become the dean. I only wanted to teach. And yet there are many ways I'm teaching, right? So even when I was dean and some semesters I wouldn't teach, I knew I was still in the education business, right? So, but I never thought I was going to be, I don't think many kids wake up, when I grow up, I want to be a college administrator. Yay. I never thought that. But then, again, I kind of bit my tongue, was like, okay, this is my foot in the door. And I'm glad I did. Right. So I got to see, just to be open. I really think sometimes we shoot ourselves in the foot. I don't want to do that. I could never do that. But, and again, broadening my idea of educating young men and women was not just in the classroom.
Right.
It's happening a lot. I now have these students out on externships. I have somebody coming in tomorrow. I'm going to talk to you about my, the log I'm keeping about when I work with this attorney and these issues that come up with, this associate and this client. And it's really great. So anyway,
that's cool.
It's been a great ride, and I'm very grateful for it. And I'm, it's funny. I'm stealing all your thunder. Like, I'm doing the interview.
I love it. No, your
questions Regina asked.
You're answering everything. It's awesome.
Well, I'm trying to help you out here. What is my, long-term goal? I revealed that I'm 60. I've told the dean here, like, I'm not stopping. I want to keep doing this a long time. I want work-life balance, but if God willing, I have good health and I'm still contributing to the team. I hope to be doing this well into my 70s, early 70s, but I don't, again, hoping that I stay healthy, I don't intend to just sit in a rocking chair or go to Florida. No. I know that I will always be doing something. Of course, family's important, and I've shared with Regina, I just had my 4th grandchild, and thankfully all 4 of those grandkids live nearby. So I love to be able to hop over and see them or help in a pinch. So I wanted to be able to do that and help with my mom, who's 85, but still with us, who's wonderful. But I also, even if I weren't being paid, although it's nice to get paid, I would be doing something with probably young people. So.
And you're leading by example too. I mean, you're leading by example at work, but you're also leading by example at home by, helping your mom. And, that just keeps going down the line for sure.
Hopefully absolutely. My children will see that.
Yes. We want them to see that for sure. So that they realize that that's what we're supposed to do too.
We don't want to be a burden on them. I mean, financially. And so right. I'm sure you see that in your business, that I've put money away. I have a financial plan. I've, recently updated the will. They all know about it, but that doesn't mean we, shouldn't still take mom out for lunch or take her shopping or, make sure she gets to see her great grandchildren.
Right. So. Right. And you know what? It's
preachy. I'm sorry, Regina.
Say what?
I said, I'm sounding very preachy.
Oh God, no, not at all. No, this is great because obviously you have values and you're living your values, right?
Try to anyway.
That's awesome. And the other thing that I'm hearing is, it's kind of like, it's not your grandma's retirement. Like the vision of retirement that we have today is so different than our parents' generation and their parents' generation. And it's more of an active retirement, which keeps us healthier. It keeps us more entwined with our families. And actually, I think it will help us live a little bit longer, because if you do kind of go retire and go sit in a rocker chair, your body's not functioning the way it should, and everything's going to start creaking and hurting. And, so the more active you can be, whether or not it's mentally, physically, or a combination of that, it's just going to be a more successful retirement for you.
Yeah, I agree. And as you know, and anybody watching this knows that I'm a baby boomer, and the baby boomers are huge. I'm at the very end, I guess, being born in 62. And there's a lot of us. And a lot of us, you can just see on TV and the commercials, you can see that they're aimed at people my age. and trying to live a healthy, active life. And and also the reality is Social Security, even if I wanted to retire and to start taking it, it's being pushed back later and later, depending on what year you were born, right?
Yeah.
And, so unfortunately for some people, that's maybe their only source of retirement income. But I'm cognizant the longer I can work, the more I can contribute to my TIAA-CREF 401k and other places that I try to diversify my portfolio. But I think I hope I can stay active for a long time. Young
That's
people need to
great.
see some older people that are still rocking it too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And you have so much to offer. Just, even the students coming and asking you your opinion, they could ask somebody in their own family and the family can give the same opinion. They're not going to listen,
It's so
but they're going to listen to you.
so true. We say that the shoemaker's children has no shoes.
Yes.
And church, interesting, Regina, I don't know, but some people watching may also know, there's a big push at universities for making sure that our students that are first gen students, there's even a society for them. I was not a first gen student. My mom and dad did go to college, but I had a young man come visit me yesterday, and he's in the law school. He went to Lehigh, great school. He told me about his sisters, Bucknell, Penn, and one other good school. But he started asking me a lot of questions and kind of networking things. And he mentioned several times that he was first gen. And I'm sure his parents are fabulous people. He told me what they did. They're just wonderful American citizens. I said, look at this family. You and your sisters have gone to great schools. But he was also asking me about networking and other career advice.
Yeah.
Look, I came from a family of doctors. They wouldn't know much about the law. And so, we're all going to have to help each other. But so that is true. I recently saw, I don't know if you've ever seen this, there are some people down in New Jersey, and they have a funny nickname for them, but they're a bunch of older people, but they sit and have coffee and they put up a little sign, and any young person, even a mom who's 34 to a 10-year-old kid, can ask these old timers questions. It's kind of cute. Free advice, but I just thought that was really sweet.
Adorable. I love it.
Yeah.
So if people watching or listening wanted to learn either more about you or more about Villanova's law program, how would they find you or find that information?
There's not many Mary Sheila McDonalds in the world. That's a good or bad thing, I guess. LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. You just go to also just Google my name, Mary Sheila McDonald, Villanova University. I'm there. It's not many of us. So, and I would love to hear from people.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great school. It's a great program, and obviously some amazing instructors, faculty members, and deans over there. So congratulations. And thank you so much for being with me today. I really enjoyed learning a little bit more about what you do. You're amazing, and keep up the great work.
Well, thank you, Regina. And I know you're trying to empower families, women and men to, take care of their resources, their money, because wealth means different things to different people. And I've been thinking about that a lot. To me, it means security and also empowerment, not control over people, but just kind of controlling my own life. So to the extent that you and people in your profession can help others with that, that's a great vocation to have. So continued success to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thanks for everyone else for joining us. Again, I'm Regina McCann-Hess, president of Forge Wealth. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at Forge Wealth, on LinkedIn, Regina McCann-Hess, and my website is forgewealth.com. Go make it a great day. Thank you.